Legacy of dignity on a clear morning. On a crisp September morning, sunlight streamed through the towering glass windows of L'Amour Beauty and Cosmetics on Fifth Avenue, casting golden rays across the store's flawless Italian marble floors. The air buzzed with the quiet elegance of high-end retail, the soft chatter of affluent customers, the subtle tap of designer heels, and the faint strains of classical music drifting from concealed speakers. It was a sanctuary of luxury, a place where wealth and refinement intertwined seamlessly until that day, when an unforgettable scene shattered the usual calm at the flagship location. Near the back of the store stood Nia Carter, a poised and graceful black woman in her late 30s. She was examining a display of premium skincare products with a calm, deliberate air. Dressed in dark jeans, a soft taupe cashmere sweater, and handcrafted leather flats, she exuded understated sophistication. Her hair was swept into a sleek updo, and the only adornment she wore was a simple wedding band that caught the light with a subtle gleam. Though she moved through the store with the ease of a seasoned shopper, the staff paid her no attention. Moments earlier, 3 white women had entered the store and were greeted with immediate, almost obsequious warmth. Champagne flutes were pressed into their hands. Their names were recalled with practiced charm, and private VIP rooms were offered without hesitation. Nia, however, didn't receive so much as a nod. On the surface, she remained unruffled, her focus fixed on a limited edition skincare collection housed in a glass case, its price tag exceeding $20,000. As she leaned closer to read the ingredients, a man approached her. His tailored navy suit and neatly styled silver hair marked him as someone of authority. His name tag read Elliot Grayson, General Manager. His smile was tight, rehearsed, and edged with condescension. "Can I help you find the exit?" he asked, his voice smooth but cold, like a blade wrapped in velvet. Nia turned to face him fully, her expression composed. "Actually, I'm interested in purchasing this collection. I have an event tonight, and I'd like to try the new Radiance Serum." Elliot's eyes swept over her, lingering on her minimalist attire. He glanced at her wedding band, dismissing it as a cheap imitation, and smirked. "These products require a significant investment," he said, drawing out the word investment as if she might not grasp its meaning. "Do you have proof of income? Identification? We've had issues with certain people handling merchandise they have no intention of buying." The implication hung heavy in the air, sharp and unmistakable. Nia blinked slowly, measuring her response. "I don't carry income statements while shopping. Do your other customers?" Elliot's polite facade cracked. "These items cost more than you'd make in a year. People like you don't belong here. We don't offer free samples or tutorials for window shoppers." The words were a calculated humiliation, designed to sting. The insult burned, but Nia's face remained a mask of dignity. She didn't shout or beg. Instead, she said evenly, "I was planning to buy the full set, all 6 pieces." Elliot's smirk widened, and with a dismissive wave, he signaled to security. Within seconds, 2 burly guards approached from opposite ends of the store. Without a word, they grabbed Nia by the arms, lifting her slightly off the ground as they marched her toward the front doors. Customers watched in silence. Some pulled out their phones to record the scene. Elliot followed, arms crossed, his expression triumphant. Outside, Nia stumbled as the guards shoved her onto the sidewalk. She steadied herself, smoothed her sweater, adjusted her jeans, and pulled out her phone. "Malik," she said into the receiver, her voice steady. "You won't believe what just happened." What the staff didn't know, what Elliot couldn't have fathomed, was who Nia Carter truly was, and who her husband was. Malik Carter wasn't just Nia's spouse. He was the founder and CEO of Carter Innovations, a tech empire valued at over $80 billion. His influence spanned industries, and his devotion to Nia was matched only by his fierce intolerance for injustice. By 4:30 a.m. the next day, Carter Holdings had discreetly acquired a 64% controlling stake in Pinnacle Luxe Group, the parent company of L'Amour Beauty and Cosmetics. At 10 a.m., just as the Fifth Avenue store prepared to open, a convoy rolled up outside. 2 sleek charcoal Rolls-Royce Phantoms led the way, followed by 4 black Escalades, parking in perfect unison. From the first car stepped Nia, now dressed in a tailored white pantsuit, her hair styled in an elegant bun that shimmered in the morning light. From the second emerged Malik, calm yet commanding. Behind them, a team of legal and executive professionals filed out, carrying folders stamped with the Carter Holdings logo. Inside, the staff froze. Elliot adjusted his tie and flashed his most ingratiating smile, but it wavered as Nia walked through the door she'd been dragged out of just 24 hours earlier. Malik didn't raise his voice, didn't need to. "I believe you met my wife yesterday," he said, his tone cutting like a razor. Elliot stammered. "I had no idea. If we'd known, we would've." Nia didn't take his outstretched hand. She simply regarded him coolly, as one might study a flawed trinket. A member of Malik's team handed Elliot a folder. "Ownership transfer documents," Malik explained. "Carter Holdings now owns this store, this brand, this chain." Silence fell, then chaos erupted. Within minutes, the store was closed for an emergency meeting. Employees gathered in a huddle as Elliot was publicly terminated. Nia, with quiet authority, addressed the staff. "What happened yesterday wasn't just about me. It was about a culture that tells people they don't belong based on how they look. That ends today." Malik announced that all 50 Lamora beauty and cosmetics locations would shut down immediately for restructuring. Within 48 hours, they reopened under a new name, Legacy. It wasn't just a rebrand, it was a revolution. Gone were the elitist practices, replaced by transparency, inclusivity, and respect. Prices were clearly displayed, staff underwent cultural competency training, and recruitment became open and diverse. 6 months later, Nia stood on the steps of the Fifth Avenue store as its creative director, cutting the ribbon to welcome the public to a space that blended luxury with humanity. Meanwhile, Elliot Grayson, now clad in a red apron, rang up customers at a mid-tier cosmetic shop in Queens, far from the authority he once wielded. Nia's story became a legend in the retail world, studied in business schools, and murmured about in executive suites. Sometimes, justice isn't just about punishment, it's about reshaping the world you deserve. But the story didn't end there. 3 months after Legacy's grand reopening, Nia received an anonymous envelope. Inside was an internal memo from a rival luxury chain, Celestine Beauty, deriding Legacy's inclusive policies as market suicide. Accompanying it was a screenshot of an internal group chat filled with racist jabs, including mocking photos of Legacy's diverse new staff. Nia took a deep breath. She wasn't surprised, but she was galvanized. She met with Malik in their sunlit penthouse office. "This isn't just about our stores anymore," she said, placing the documents on the table. "It's the industry, this whole toxic underbelly beneath the gloss and fragrance." Malik leaned forward, his gaze locked on hers. "Then let's finish what we started." Together, they launched Project Reflect, a sweeping industry-wide audit backed by ethical investors and watchdog groups. It aimed to scrutinize hiring practices, customer treatment, and executive diversity across every major luxury cosmetics chain in North America. Nia became its public face. The media frenzy was immediate. She was invited to testify before Congress on systemic bias in luxury retail. Her quiet yet piercing words broadcast nationwide. "Luxury has long been a tool of exclusion, but beauty should never be a gatekeeper, it should be a bridge." The moment went viral, sparking a reckoning. Within a month, Celestine Beauty CEO resigned. A class-action lawsuit against 3 major chains gained momentum, and boardrooms were forced to confront their own failings. Legacy, meanwhile, grew into a movement. Nia began speaking at universities, not just about business, but about dignity economics, a term she coined for profits rooted in principles. She launched the Carter Fellowship, funding BIPOC entrepreneurs in fashion, skincare, and wellness. 6 months after her congressional testimony, Legacy opened its 100th location in Johannesburg, South Africa. That morning, Nia stood before a crowd of thousands, sunlight glinting off the gold-lettered sign behind her. Legacy Beauty with Honor. Her voice rang clear. True luxury isn't about scarcity, it's about sincerity. It's about creating something so beautiful, so intentional, that everyone feels seen. That's the world we're building, one storefront at a time. Applause roared. Back in New York, at a small discount cosmetic store in Queens, Elliot Grayson watched the scene on a muted TV above the register. A customer handed him exact change for a $9 lipstick. He took it with a hollow smile. Behind him, a shelf groaned under unsold clearance items. In his pocket was a termination notice from even that job, citing poor conduct. He glanced at the screen again. Nia was smiling, and for the first time, Elliot glimpsed what real power looked like. Legacy had risen from humiliation, unapologetic and triumphant, a beacon of justice born from the ashes of exclusion. The world would never be the same.